has been a politically eventful day today as Sudur Pashchim Province Chief Minister Rajendra Rao failed to clear the floor test. The scenario has highlighted rising disputes among the ruling parties as the Chief Minister Rao failed to gain the decisive votes from Nagarik Unmukti Party. Meanwhile, a high-profile meeting between Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli has been held, with the bone of contention being the presidential election. Good evening, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. UML-led government crashes in Sudur Pashchim. Chief Minister Rajendra Rao fails the floor test, arising disputes among the coalition partners. A crucial meeting held between Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli. The meeting dwells on consensus candidate for the president. 17,000 people now confirmed dead in Turkey and North Syria following catastrophic earthquakes. Moments of joys amid despair as a number of children rescued out of the rubble. And Nepal taking on Bangladesh in the title clash of the Under-20 Women's Championship today. The match currently underway at Dhaka's Kamalapur Stadium. Meeting of the Provincial Assembly of Sudur Pashchim has concluded as Chief Minister Rajendra Rao failed to generate the confidence vote. The province government had until 5 p.m. today to receive the vote of trust. The meeting, which was called for 1 p.m, was delayed and started only after 4 p.m. as Nagarik Unmukti Party decided not to extend the trust vote. 7 Provincial Assembly members of Nagarik Unmukti Party were in Kathmandu while the meeting was underway. Chief Minister Rajendra Singh Rao had until today to receive the vote of confidence. Rao-led government has toppled as Nagarik Unmukti Party did not extend the support. Nagarik Unmukti Party had remained firm in their stand of not extending the trust vote until Resham Chaudhary was released or a written commitment was issued by the government assuring his release. Prior to this, Nagarik Unmukti Party had decided to remain neutral in the process of government formation in Sudur Pashchim Province. Sudur Pashchim Province Chief Minister Rajendra Rao had made preparations to receive the vote of confidence at the Provincial Assembly today. Chairperson of Nagarik Unmukti Party, Ranjita Shrestha, had said that they would not give the trust vote to any party if their leaders, Resham Chaudhary among others, were not released. Previously, the Nagarik Unmukti Party had decided to support the government in the formation of the Sudur Pashchim Province government following the assurance of Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and CPN-UML Chairperson KP Sharma Oli for the release of Resham Chaudhary within a month. However, with the party's latest decision to remain neutral, the province government in Sudur Pashchim was at risk. UML Chair Oli had held talks with Nagarik Unmukti Party Chair Ranjita Shrestha yesterday, where Shrestha had reiterated that the party would not extend the trust vote if Resham Chaudhary was not released. While Oli had said that he was in favor of Chaudhary's release, Shrestha had demanded a written commitment. However, Nagarik Unmukti Party decided against extending the trust vote after Oli refuted a written commitment. Meeting of the high-level political mechanism has been postponed at the 11th hour. Prior to this, a meeting of the high-profile body formed to assist the government was called for 3 p.m. today. It has been understood that the meeting was not held as Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and CPN-UML Chairperson KP Sharma Oli had failed to reach a consensus on the agenda for the talks. However, members of the ruling coalition parties have not identified the exact reasons for the last-minute rescheduling. After the decision to postpone the meeting of the mechanism, Prime Minister Dahal and CPN-UML Chair Oli are holding talks at the office of the Prime Minister in Singadarbar. The two leaders have yet to reach a consensus on the candidate for the presidential election slated for 9th of March. District Government Attorney Office Kathmandu has begun collecting documents in the case of dual passports of Rashtriya Swatantra Party Chairperson Rabi Lamichhane. On the basis of a complaint filed at the District Government Attorney Office on Tuesday alleging Lamichhane of holding dual passports, the office has asked for documents related to Lamichhane's passports and citizenship from the Department of Immigration, District Administration Office Kathmandu and the Department of Passport. According to the office, documents have been asked for from all the three departments. A complaint was filed at the District Government Attorney Office after police declined filing the complaint, which alleged Lamichhane of a criminal act by receiving Nepali passport while holding American citizenship. A complaint was also filed at the Ministry of Home Affairs after Lamichhane was elected to the House of Representatives from Chitwan Electoral Constituency 2. The Supreme Court had termed Rabi Lamichhane ineligible to hold the position of a parliamentarian on January 27. Two under-construction motorable bridges of Arniko and Pushpalal Highway connecting Dolkha with Tarai and the federal capital have remained stranded for 7 years. The motorable bridges over the Tamakushi River under Lamosangu Jiri Road section and the Sunkoshi River in Khadichor Sindhupalchok have remained stranded for the past 7 years. Passenger and goods-laden vehicles have been making risky journeys from the old bridge as the Nilgiri Nelson JV company has left the construction works stranded. A contract was assigned 6 years ago at 200 million rupees to replace two motorable bridges built 40 years ago. Despite the assignment of contracts 6 years ago, construction works have not progressed. The two old bridges are at risk of suffering major damages because of the heavy vehicles of hydroelectricity projects. Despite extension of the deadline on 2 occasions, the projects remain stranded. Division Road Office Dolkha has made several requests with the department to expedite construction of the bridges. However, works have remained stranded as the department is unsure about whether to continue the project from the same contractor company or not. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: why have expensive health equipment remained unused? Your options are A, procurement without plans, B, lack of human resource, and C, equipment not needed. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The Bagmati provincial government has announced to waive fines on tax for motorbikes that have failed to renew on time. The provincial government has waived 5 years of fines for motorbike owners who have not paid the allocated tax amount or failed to timely renew between the fiscal year 2070-71 to 2075-76. Issuing a press release, the provincial government announced of providing the waiver. The government has also urged to pay the due tax until the ongoing fiscal year of vehicles that are not in use. Around 1.6 million motorbikes and scooters have been registered in Bagmati province. The government collects revenue worth 11 billion rupees annually from vehicle tax. Valentine's Day is celebrated on the 14th of February. Couples celebrate the entire week ahead of the Valentine's Day by sharing love, gifts and flowers. While around 150,000 flowers are demanded for the Valentine's Day, only 30% of them are produced in Nepal. On the Valentine's Day, people of all age groups, especially the young generation, share love with their loved ones, friends and family members. In recent time, the festival is seen throughout the week leading to February 14. Young couples gift their loved ones red roses, the symbol of love. The annual market of roses is around 200 million rupees in Nepal, of which the first week of February alone witnesses transactions of around 20 million rupees. Of the imported roses, 60% are consumed in Kathmandu Valley alone. Flower shops have said that price of roses has not increased much this year. A single rose cost between 70 to 100 rupees. Flower shops have said that the demand for red roses has reduced this year in comparison to the previous year. The reduced demand has resulted in drop in import as well. 160,000 roses worth 15 million rupees were imported last year, while 120,000 roses worth 10 million rupees have been imported this year. Of the 100,000 roses exchanged as gifts in Nepal during the Valentine's week, only 30,000 are produced in Nepal, while the remaining are imported from India, Belgium, Vietnam, Thailand and Bangladesh, among other countries. Commercial flower businesses began in Nepal in 2007 with the development and expansion of cities. There are around 675 nurseries and flower farms in 41 districts of the country. The Health Logistics Management Center of Bhaktapur Province has provided ambulances to the provincial hospitals. The Province Health Minister Rameshwar Shrestha during a program yesterday handed over the one ambulance each, which is well equipped to the provincial hospitals. The ambulances have been provided to the province's Bakulahar Hospital in Ratnanagar, Ramechhap Hospital, Methinkot Hospital in Kavre, Bajrabarahi Chapagaon Hospital in Lalitpur, Bhaktapur Hospital, Tokha Chandeshwari Hospital in Kathmandu, and Pashupath Chaulagai Memorial Hospital in Dolakha. The Health Logistics Management Center, Hetauda, has said that the cost of each ambulance is 5.2 million 90,000 rupees. A total of 37,030,000 rupees has been spent to purchase 7 ambulances. Time now for international update. The death toll from earthquakes that struck Turkey and Syria this week has touched the grim mark of 17,000 today as hopes faded of many people being found alive 72 hours since the disaster and frustration simmered over the slow delivery of aid. A Turkish official said the disaster posed very serious difficulties for the holding of an election scheduled for May 14, in which President Tayyip Erdogan has been expected to face the toughest challenge in his 2 decades in power. On the ground, many people in Turkey and Syria spent a third night sleeping outside or in cars in freezing winter temperatures, their homes destroyed or so shaken by the quakes they were too afraid to re-enter. Hundreds of thousands of people have been left homeless in the middle of winter. The number of people killed by the quake, which struck in the dead of night and was followed by powerful aftershocks, is on course to be larger than in 1999, when a similar powerful tremor killed 17,000 people in Turkey's more densely populated northwest. The death toll in Turkey jumped to over 13,000 by Thursday morning. In Syria, already devastated by nearly 12 years of civil war, more than 3,000 people have died, according to the government and a rescue service in the rebel-held northwest. In Syria, relief efforts are complicated by the conflict that has partitioned the nation and wrecked its infrastructure. There are defining moments in life, and particularly when the natural disasters struck. People are helpless in such situations, but there are cases uncommon when victims still survive or rescue in the aftermath of disasters. There are interesting pictures of children rescued in Monday's Turkey-Syria earthquake. Here's a glimpse of rescue efforts and a dear life and death situation of kids in the rubble. A young Syrian boy smiled and started to play with rescue workers who pulled him from the rubble of a building on Monday. The video shared by the White Helmets showed the rescuers cheering, happy to see Karam, and laughing along with him. Video footage released on Wednesday by the Istanbul Fire Department showed its rescue workers pulling a young girl from the rubble in Hatay, Turkey, in aftermath of a deadly earthquake. The girl, identified as 5-year-old Yasemin, held on to a railing as a rescue worker pulled her free from debris in a staircase. On Monday night, the rescue service from Syria's northern rebel-held territory cut through metal to reach a young girl. Bystanders shouted Allahu Akbar, which means God is greatest, as she was brought to safety. 2 more children were found alive under the rubble on Tuesday. Young Syrian boy Ahmed was rescued by members of the White Helmets in Syria's Jandaris on Wednesday, 2 days after an earthquake devastated both Turkey and Syria. Sliding their bodies through piles of rubble, members of the White Helmets also used shovels, a bulldozer, and their two bare hands to remove rocks and debris from demolished buildings, looking for survivors. In a video the group posted on social media, a member was heard calling out to Ahmed, asking him to extend his leg or hold out his arm for rescuers to grab hold of. Ahmed was safely evacuated and taken to hospital for medical aid. In addition to that, another young girl was shuttled in an ambulance to a nearby hospital. Volunteers from Syria's White Helmets sang to a little girl on Tuesday as they rescued her from the rubble of her house near Idlib. Rescuers sang the young girl's name, Sharma, as they attempted to free her. 5 people, including a 2-year-old child, were killed in a gas explosion in a housing block in the city of Novosibirsk in Siberia, Russian media reported. Video published by Russia's Emergencies Ministry showed a section of a multi-story residential building largely destroyed, with the building's facade missing. Regional authorities said that 11 people had been hurt in the explosion, while some 50 residents evacuated. Russia's investigative committee, which is responsible for major crimes, said it had opened an investigation. Some 473 personnel were involved in the operation, the Emergencies Ministry said. French President Emmanuel Macron and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky departed from an airfield in France today to attend an EU summit in Brussels. Zelensky is expected to lobby European leaders at the summit in Brussels today for more weapons in the fight against Russia and a quick start to EU membership talks for his country. While the Ukrainian leader is unlikely to secure immediate pledges to satisfy his request, the visit gives him a chance to make his case in person with the EU's 27 national leaders for the first time since Russia's invasion nearly 1 year ago on February 24, 2020. The trip was only Zelensky's second known timeout of his country since the war began and followed a surprise visit to Washington in December. Russian forces shot down several rocket-propelled projectiles and drones of Ukrainian forces, while the armed forces of Ukraine claim to repel Russia's attacks in 22 settlements in Donetsk and Luhansk. Russia's Ministry of Defense said yesterday that Russian forces attacked AFU crew armaments and ordnance and fuel depots in the direction of Kupiansk, Liman, Donetsk and Kherson. The ministry also said that Russian forces shot down several rocket-propelled projectiles launched by multiple rocket launchers, HIMARS, and 10 Ukrainian military drones in Luhansk and Kharkov. Ukrainian forces repelled Russian assaults in 22 settlements in Donetsk and Luhansk in the past 24 hours, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said on Wednesday. Ukraine's air forces also launched 12 strikes on Russian personnel and military facilities. The air forces also conducted 2 attacks on Russia's air defense facilities and shot down 1 Su-25 warplane, 1 Mi-24 helicopter and 2 drones. Team Nepal are currently playing Bangladesh in the grand finale of the SAF Under-20 Women's Championship. The match, which is underway in Bangladesh capital Dhaka's Kamalapur Stadium, kicked off at 5:45 p.m. earlier this evening. Nepali Eves had secured their spot in the tournament decider after coming back from a goal down to secure a 3-1 win against India in their last match of the group stage. Prior to this, Nepal had suffered a 3-1 defeat to Bangladesh in their first match of the tournament before humbling Bhutan 4-0. Team Nepal are aiming to avenge their league round defeat against the host by lifting the title. Bangladesh remain unbeaten at the tournament. Asmita Dual of H2O defeated Diwana Sharma of Nepal Police in the All-Nepal Boxing Selection Tournament to secure her spot for the Women's World Boxing Championship. In the match held at the boxing ring of Sadobatu, Asmita was declared the winner on split decision. Of the 5 judges, 3 bouts were in favor of Asmita, while 2 decided in favor of Diwana. Asmita will now compete in the 50 kg category of the Women's World Boxing Championship, which will begin on March 13 in India. Prior to this, Saraswati Ranamagar of APF had qualified for the 75 kg category. Chandrakala Thapa of Army will compete in the 57 kg category. Sangeeta Sunar of APF will compete in 60 kg segment, while Minu Gurung of Army and Anjali Teli of Kathmandu have qualified for 52 kg category. Sushma Tamang will compete in the 48 kg category of the Women's World Boxing Championship, which will be held in New Delhi of India until March 27. Prior to this, Sushma had won silver at the Asian Under-22 Boxing Championship. The selected players will join the closed camp from Sunday. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.